There are some technologies that are just now being presented to the public as new, when they're not new at all. In fact, fundamental facts can no longer be ignored. This technology, the advanced as we're constantly told we are these days, there are some technologies that are just now being presented to the public as new when they're not new at all, but have simply been widely suppressed for decades. But it was proven that that type of technology worked decades ago. It has also come out in recent years that frequencies can cure diseases, including cancer. Professor Anthony Holland even gave a TED Talk called Shattering Cancer with Resonant Frequencies a couple years back, where he discussed that specific oscillating pulse electrical fields can destroy everything from cancer cells to MRSA. Over the course of 15 months, we tried hundreds and hundreds of frequencies, if not thousands, until we found the magic combination. The answer is you have to have two input frequencies, one low, one high, and the higher frequency must be 11 times the lower. It's what we musicians would call the 11th harmonic. When we add the 11th harmonic, we begin to shatter microorganisms. If you haven't heard of one who's been referred to by those who personally knew him as a genius. He was a scientist of Dr. Wilhelm Reich. This is an inventor, and starting in the 20s, he began building a large, very complex microscope capable of magnifying objects 31,000 times, compared with the maybe 1,700 times that were available on standard microscopes in the 30s and 40s. By 1940, he had invented a tube that could produce high-frequency electrical pulses, and he believed that these pulses could kill pathogens without harming human tissue. His work was revolutionary, but as he began to have success, he was met with a wave of suppression from the medical establishment. Reich saw viruses and bacteria in a way that no other scientist had at that time. Because these organisms were so tiny, he designed a method of staining them with light. And through this work, he came to understand that living things, including pathogens and viruses and bacteria, have their own frequency or oscillation pattern. And just like a specific musical note can shatter a wine glass if sung at the resonant frequency of the glass, he found specific frequencies could be used when matched up with specific pathogens in order to destroy them. And as he continued to isolate viruses and bacteria and locate their frequencies, he also claimed he discovered the virus responsible for cancer. Using resonance, or what he termed the immortal oscillatory rate of the virus, he was able to kill it in laboratory experiments over and over and over. He completed hundreds of experiments on tumors in rats, purposefully infected with the isolated cancer virus, before ever attempting to use these frequencies on people. In 1934, he famously tested out his device on 16 terminally ill cancer patients. Out of 16, 14 of them, all but 2, were certified medically cured in just 3 months. Of his treatment, Reich would later write, "With the frequency instrument treatment, no tissue is destroyed, no pain is felt, no noise is audible, and no sensation is noticed. The virus or bacteria is destroyed, and the body then recovers itself naturally from the toxic effect of the virus or bacteria. Several diseases may be treated simultaneously." His findings were at first widely published. In June of 1940, the LA Times reported, "For organisms too small to be stained, an ingenious illuminating system is used." The system utilizes Reich's theory that organisms respond to certain wavelengths, a theory he carried to finality by bombarding disease germs with radio waves which are tuned to those of the minute man-killers. And the virus, he says, that cures cancer has Reich's cysts disintegrated under such radio waves. Reich was hailed in the scientific and medical community for his discoveries at first. By 1937, he established a company called Beamray with several colleagues, and 14 of his machines were manufactured. Multiple doctors used these machines, tested them out, and saw that they worked. It wasn't just Reich's word. So what happened? Why aren't these machines in every hospital and cancer treatment center in the world today? Why don't we have them? Simply put, the only cancer Reich couldn't seem to kill was greed. Powerful opposition with vested interests in allopathic, that is, the pharmaceutical and surgery-based medicine system, and the still infant cancer treatment called chemotherapy, and medical professionals linked to the Rockefeller Foundation with its deeply entrenched eugenics-based population control agenda, would make absolutely sure that Reich's machines would never be available to the public at large. Biological Signaling and Healing. It's a very interesting paper, and in it they concluded not only chemicals and physical energies like EMFs and sound vibrations, but even our emotions, thoughts, beliefs, and the way we develop our intentions and life rhythms can deeply transform our gene expression patterning at the cellular level. This finding may disclose unexpected chances to develop self-healing processes based on further utilization of this remarkable human potential. The paradigm emerging here moves from a purely biochemical viewpoint, based solely upon physical concepts of energy and momentum transfer and their implications for biochemistry, to a holistic information-based paradigm. Much as a whisper might carry more gravitas than shouted words, science may now be uncovering the basic principles of a more subtle informational biology in which specific signaling behaviors can carry the power for healing. We were meant to heal. We were made to heal. We all know how well the big pharma medical model of filling ourselves up with chemicals and ripping out our vital organs has served us. These aren't cures, it's sick care, not health care. It's only a matter of time before the medical and scientific communities are going to be forced to admit that Reich was right, or they'll risk losing the last few shreds of credibility they even have. If they haven't, in a world where it's become all too obvious we've been purposefully held hostage in a technology bubble.
Dr. Anthony Holland is a pioneer in sound and frequency therapy, showing how precise frequencies can disrupt cancer cells. Similarly, Wilhelm Reich claimed remarkable success, curing 14 out of 16 cancer patients in 3 months, with 2 more after an additional 2 months. Inspired by this legacy, we at Creator Source followed a divine download from the Creator. This inspired us to craft the Harmonizer package. Our 6-inch harmonizer features a frequency generator, emitting a pure tone visible on an oscilloscope. A Möbius coil channels this frequency into a crystal, while an acuvac chamber amplifies the vibration. The harmonizer then radiates this frequency into your environment. The complete 6-inch harmonizer package is $399, not including shipping. For more info, contact us at 504 519 0723 or email craftvideo1@gmail.com.